Hello, you YouTubers. Welcome back to ThoseYGOguys. I'm Alessandro, your host, and I wish all of you a happy holidays. I hope everything is going well with you, your friends, and your family throughout this holiday break. So far, mine has been going very well. Hopefully, it remains that way. And let's get started with ThoseYGOguys holiday special with a structure deck review on the new upcoming Fire King structure deck that's coming out on February 8th, 2013. So let's get started by announcing the OCG structure deck list. I know a few of it will be a little bit different when we're gonna have our TCG version of the structure deck, because knowing the TCG department, they're gonna change a few things, but overall majority of it will be the same. So let's get started. First up, we got one copy of Fire King High Avatar Garunix, one copy of Fire King Avatar Barong, one copy of Fire King Avatar Quillin, one copy of Sacred Phoenix of Memphis, one copy of Metacore Darkness, one copy of Goka the Pyre of Malice, one copy of Haze Beast Hippogriffo, one copy of Lava Lance Lord, one copy of Flamvell Fire Dog, one copy of Flamvell Pound, one copy of Jurek Guaiba, one copy of Jurek Velo, one copy of Volcanic Rocket, one copy of Volcanic Counter, one copy of Molten Zombie, one copy of Spirit of the Flames, one copy of Raging Flame Sprite, one copy of Foxfire, one copy of Flame Tiger, one copy of Little Chimera, and two copies of UFO Turtle. So moving on to spells, we got one copy of Soul of the Fire Kings, one copy of Fire King Fire Cycle, one copy of Rekindling, one copy of Blaze Accelerator, one copy of Wild Nature's Release, one copy of Pod Duality, one copy of Hand Destruction, one copy of Creature Swap, and one copy of Burden of the Mighty. Moving on to traps, we got one copy of Backfire, one copy of Flamvell Counter, one copy of Phoenix Wing Windblast, one copy of Horn of the Phantom Beast, one copy of Blast with Chain, one copy of Spiritual Fire Art Kuranai, one copy of Regretful Rebirth, one copy of Chain Destruction, and one copy of Nightmare Wheel. So, that's it for the structure deck, well, the OCG structure deck list. So, moving on to the 5 special cards that you'll be guaranteed to get in the Fire King structure deck. So, let's get started. First up, we got the cover monster. Fire King High Avatar Garunix is a fire attribute, level 8, Wing Beast effect monster with 2700 attack, 1700 defense. With the effect, during the next standby phase, after this card was destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, special summon this card from the graveyard. When you do, destroy all the monsters on the field. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, special summon one Fire King monster from your deck except my Fire King High Avatar Garunix. Very good, very good. Very broken in a way. Well, actually, very broken. Why am I saying? Yeah, it's definitely broken. Duh. Alright, moving on to our next monster. Fire King Avatar Barong is a fire attribute, level 4 Beast Warrior effect monster with the attack points 1800 and 200 defense. With the effect, if a face-up Fire King monster you control is destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon with this card from your hand. During the next standby phase, after this card was destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, add one Fire King card from your deck to your hand, except Fire King Avatar Barong. Impressive. Pretty impressive. Up next, we got Fire King Avatar Quillin. It is a fire attribute, level 3, beast type effect monster, 1000 attack, 200 defense. With the effect, if a face-up Fire King monster you control is destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can send one fire monster from your deck to the graveyard. And let's see, according to rulings, if I'm correct, you can activate his effect, during the damage step. So if he was destroyed by battle, you can still send a fire monster from your deck to the graveyard. So that's kind of crazy. Up next, we got the normal spell card, Assault of the Fire Kings, with the effect: if your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, special summon one Fire Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast type monster from your deck. Its effects are negated and is destroyed during its phase. You can only activate one Assault of the Fire King per turn. And finally, moving on to the quick play spell card known as Fire King Fire Cycle. With the effect, target one fire monster you control and one fire monster in your graveyard. Destroy the first target on the field, and if you do, special summon the second target. You can only activate one Fire King Fire Cycle per turn. Interesting. So overall, the support cards and the archetype of the Fire Kings have been really well rounded. So this is going to be a highly contender for the next meta, so forth. Possibly later this meta as well. What's left of it is pretty much all I have to say. But what are my general thoughts about the Fire King archetype? Pretty much they're OP. Let's get the message straight. They're OP. They're pretty ridiculous. I've never seen a deck that can go crazy. I thought Merlantis was bad, but this deck just takes the cake. A lot of people have been very exciting and hyping on this deck. Other people are not too happy about it because it's, from what they say, is skillless. Like, it does not take any skill whatsoever to make this deck. So I agree on that part. I mean, a small child can pick this deck up and play and do really well on it. So yeah. But pretty much from what I've heard, on paper it has a good matchup against windups and Merlantians, but it has a shaky matchup with macro rabbits. So yeah. I mean, that's pretty common. It's like Dark Worlds. I mean, they're graveyard heavily reliant. I mean, if once that Macrocosmos shows up, if you don't have an out to it, yeah, you're in trouble. Let's be honest. You can't really get around Macrocosmos. You can't if you don't have an out to it. So yeah. But overall, I've been checking throughout the Strike OCG website, and so far they started topping tournaments. So that's a sign that it's a really good structure deck by no doubt. You can, from an interesting notice, you can combine the Fire King archetype with the Haze Beast. At least I saw one tournament winning deck that combines Fire Kings and Haze Beast together, which is very interesting. I don't know too much about the new fire decks that are coming out. To be honest, I really have no plans on making the deck whatsoever. Pretty much it's gonna be pretty much helping my girlfriend build this deck. I mean, she's pretty interested into it, so might as well. I'll learn how to take on this deck and as time progresses and so forth. But overall, I think this deck will have a really, really, really great match. Well, actually, we'll do a great future in the next meta in general. So, now that it comes down to the question, like the Merlantian deck, Konami, when they made the September 2012 ban list, they banned Brionac in attempts to kind of like hitting the deck, make sure it won't get too crazy in a way. So now the real question is, will they make a preemptive hit, making sure that the Fire King deck won't go so super crazy and all that. In all honesty, I really don't know. Konami is Konami. We can't predict what they'll do and all that. But if you ask me, I think the best prediction I can give out will be they'll probably hit Rekindling. Now, why is that? Is many of the fire decks that are doing so well in the tournaments is because of Rekindling. Rekindling, I cannot explain in words how overpowered that spell card is. And it's at 3 as well. That's what bothers me a lot. It's a 1 card that can special summon as many fire attribute monster with 200 or less defense from your graveyard to your side of the field. And if any of them that have been resurrected under rekindling remains on the field during the end phase, they get banished. Well, that doesn't matter because you get around that. You can, it pretty much screams out, Exceed and Synchros. Please. That's pretty much, that card just screams out. He's like, okay, I'm going to overlay these 2 monsters, sing, sing, sing. And what's even bothersome is that Fire Kings, majority of them have 200 defense, except for Garunix, thank goodness. Otherwise, can you imagine Garunix with 200 defense get resurrected by rekindling? That would be ridiculous. But I hope to see rekindling get hit because this is ridiculous to see that card running around 3s. And many people have been complaining about Monster Reborn, which I understand. Monster Reborn, it's like it can steal a victory from a person who's been controlling the game, and then all of a sudden top deck Monster Reborn, and then turn the tables all the way around. But rekindling is pretty much boom. You pretty much lose once you see something like that goes off. So that's all I have to say about the Fire King archetype. So tell me what you guys think. Would you like building a Fire King or a Fire King variant deck? Or tell me you don't, even though you're not going to be building the Fire King deck, tell me how you're going to combat against this deck. Also, please like this video if you enjoy watching this video and so forth. That lets me know, and also let me know I'm doing a good job or so. Also, if you're new to ThoseYGOguys, please hit the subscribe button if you have not. So I guess that's it for this holiday special video. So I'm Alessandro, your host, and I will see you guys later. Take care. Bye.